Okay guys, hopefully this will come out. I just thought I'd do a little evening drive around some areas of North Wales in the United Kingdom. This is the county of Flintshire, and we're coming down from the Buckley area heading into Ewloe in North Wales. Might be a few expats who recognise this area. On the left hand side here is the old auction house, Quay auction house, and I remember coming up here in the 1980s, very early 80s, and seeing things like Mark III Ford Cortinas and Mark I Escorts and things like that going through. I'm sure you don't get stuff like that now, and if you do, I doubt it'll be going through for about 50 quid like they used to. Yeah, this is Ewloe. There's a small independent garage a little bit further up here, and when they had the fuel crisis in the early 2000s, this place always seemed to have fuel, because I think everyone had battered the likes of your Esso and your Shell and your BP, but they forgot this place existed, I think. 166.9 for petrol, 189.9 for diesel at the moment, which is about average prices, to be honest. You'll have to excuse me if the lighting does get a little bit dim in places like this, because there are no street lights here. This, by the way, used to be the old A55. This is the old route that people used to take when they were going on holiday. On the right hand side here, there's a back entrance into Ewloe Castle. Now, I have put videos of Ewloe Castle up before, but we went through Wepper Woods to get there. But that little path there, that takes you to Ewloe Castle via the back route, and apparently in these fields here at night time you can hear the sounds of marching soldiers, and there's been a couple of people have told me the same tale, and I've read it in a haunted ghost book locally, so whether there's something in it or not, I don't know. What I've done today, I've put the camera outside, but I've put a micro, what do they call them? Isn't it awful, I've forgotten the name. Not headphones, the other one. Microphone, there we go. COVID. Don't get COVID, folks. It wrecks your word finding ability. But yeah, I put the camera on the outside, and I've put the microphone on the inside, so hopefully it'll cut down on a little bit of that wind noise I always seem to get. I'm going to nip this way because you can go through a small village here called Northop, and we'll just have a little bit of a look around here. In so much as you can see, because it is quite dark. I've recorded this in decine-like on the camera, so hopefully it will come out a little bit brighter than the normal colour profile, so you might actually be able to see something. The only problem is I suck at colour grading, so I might just leave it as it is. I'll have a go, see just how horrendous I can get it. Now I'm going to spin round, I think, and go down this road on the right in a minute, but let's just have a quick look in town. Well, village. These little villages in Wales are very similar. Quite small little places surrounded by countryside and sheep generally. And there's always a struggle to get through because of the amount of vehicles. Parked up on the side of the road, so it's always a little bit tricky. when you go to places like the United States, when I've been watching videos over there, you can see apologies there, gang, my SD card filled. Didn't realise there was quite so much stuff on it, but nonetheless, like I was saying, in the United States the roads are extremely wide, so you could have like a Humvee parked on both sides of the road and you'd be able to still drive two Humvees between the middle of them half the time. But over here, if you've got an old Austin 1970s Mini parked on both sides of the road, you're pretty much doomed. You might just get a bicycle to get through the gap. And what I'll do up here, I'll spin round and I'll come back the other way, just because I want to end up heading towards the local town of Connahs. This, by the way, is called Northop, this little section. But I want to go back through Connahs without having to go on the fast road, because I've filmed that one quite a few times and you're probably all well used to it by now. So let's see if I can manoeuvre here without crashing or causing chaos. Oh, that's a pity. The full moon's out tonight, or what looks like a full moon, and you could probably see it, but the clouds have just covered it up as I've turned round. Yeah, let's head back now down towards Connahs in North Wales, another small town, my hometown. One very popular thing in the United Kingdom these days are speed bumps. I don't know if they use those elsewhere. I just thank these chaps for letting me go through. But they seem to be everywhere now. Just past something called the Top Monkey. That's a pub. The reason it's called Top Monkey is because a few years back there was a pub further down the hill called the Bottom Monkey, and they were nicknames for a couple of pubs. And do you know what, I can't remember the actual names of them anymore, because everybody locally knows them as Top and Bottom Monkey. But now Bottom Monkey is gone. I think, is this Bottom Monkey here? I think this one was Bottom Monkey. I think. I could be wrong. I never went to them, you see, so I'm a little bit clueless. Oh, the moon's coming out now. Can you see that? Is the camera picking it up? I don't know. I've got the camera stuck on a pole hanging out the window, so it may be a little angled, perhaps. Right, I'm going to cut off up this road here now. This leads up to Connahs via the back end of Wepper. It's like Wepper Lane, I think this is called. Yeah, Wepper Lane. This is like a cut through for cars. Quite a lot of people complain about this road because it's only very narrow, as you can see there, and there's always cars coming, as you can see now. But that's continuous all day long, and quite a few of the cars don't do the 30 limit through here. They prefer to do 60 or whatever. And the local residents are quite rightly not too pleased about it. As you can see, for a tiny little lane, it's a busy little place, isn't it? Plenty of vehicles coming through. And this is not unusual, this is fairly standard. In fact, it's quite quiet, to be perfectly honest. GT's Bar and Grill, I think that used to be called the Wepper Inn many years ago. And this gives you a bit of an idea of a back way into Connahs and Wepper, etc. In fact, we could have a little drive towards Wepper. That little entry on the right hand side there is a walking, a public footpath that leads you to Wepper Park. But you can get to the main park via car just down here. Now, like I say, I'm a reasonably slow driver, so the vehicle behind me doesn't want to go slow, so I'm going to get out his way. There we go. And now he's able to get down the hill at a reasonable speed instead of being stuck behind slow old me. We can take it easy and hopefully get a bit of a look at the view here, because straight ahead now is the steelworks. There's also bits of power station, etc. you can see there, but see how it's quite nicely lit up there. It's quite a nice view from this part of the hill. I was hoping to come up here yesterday and get a few videos of the fireworks going off, but unfortunately it was a bit tricky because we had a few things going on, so we never managed to get up here. But I'm sure we will one day, maybe New Year perhaps or something, I don't know. See, I'm doing like 25 all the way down this hill, and it would be driving other people bar me, because although the speed limit is 30 in the UK, most people want to do 40, so I try not to get in their way, leave them to it, you know. If we turn right now, unfortunately there's a lovely building there, but they've put a huge fence in front of it now, so you can't actually see anything. But on the right hand side now is the Wepper Park, you know, where you had the castle earlier that we passed. Well, this is the other entry into there. Now you have to go a little bit further here to get in and up to the castle, but this place is Wepper Park. It's a really lovely woods here, and I've put a couple of videos up of this place as well, so if you're feeling really bored, you're very welcome to go and have a look. There you have another entry into Wepper Park, and it's a nice park here. It's good for the kids if you've got kiddies, because there's an adventure playground, there's loads of woods to run round in and see, there's a pond, there's a brook, like a mini river, only a little tiny thing really. There's a waterfall, there's a castle. It's a smashing place. It's a little bit busier than it was when I was a kid, because I think it's a bit better advertised now, but it is a lovely place. Right, okay, let's head off down the drive. This is Wepper Drive. This is, well, I suppose you could say the posher part of town. Some of the houses up here are very big detached type places, and you're looking at, you know, I don't know, about 400k probably for one, or similar, or possibly even more, whereas the part of town where I live, you could probably get about four or five houses for that. But Wepper Drive, if you're ever thinking of moving here, this is quite a nice place to live. The only thing with Wepper Drive, again, quite a busy road going up and down. This building on the right hand side here used to be a farm that sold milk and eggs. They park a big 4x4 in front of the fence now to prevent people getting through, though I think it is still a public footpath there. I think it still has the sign. However, you don't really need to go through there and annoy the people that live in the houses, because just here, I've just passed it there on the right hand side, there is another public footpath that takes you to exactly the same place, so you don't particularly need to go down the old original one. Coming down now into Connahs main town. Just to the right, if I went right, I'd be heading off into Shotton. But this is Connahs. Shopping area. I'm going to turn off again now, because again, I've got lots of videos of this area knocking around on YouTube, so if you're really interested, go and have a nose. I generally don't come up D Road very often, etc., so I'm not going to go straight ahead because it's a dead end, but if I carry on around the corner here, this is Breeze Hill. And I don't go up D Road very often, so let's have a little look up here, shall we? There used to be an infant school on the right hand side here for about 100 years or so. About 5 years ago they ripped it down because they got rid of Custom House Lane School and D Road School, which were both very close to each other, and they built a new eco-friendly building. I think the others were leaking heat or whatever, or costing a lot to keep warm, so they've made an eco building now with like grass on the roof and all sorts. And I guess with cutbacks and what have you, if they close two schools and have one instead, it's going to be a bit cheaper for them to run, isn't it? But yeah, I don't come up this road a great deal on my video, so I thought, let's show my face. And there might be a few people out there who used to live around here, and I thought, it'd be quite nice to have a look. I think the rain's coming in now, so might get a few splats on the camera, but it's an action camera I've hung out the window, so it should be fine. sure he says. Right, I won't go left because that'll take me back down to Wepper again, so let's go right here. I won't go for much longer, I'll go a little bit further and then call it a day, because I'm not really too sure exactly how well it'll be coming out anyway in this kind of lighting, and with rain splattering on the lens as well as not being able to see, it's probably not going to be the best kind of quality really. I'll turn right here. Straight ahead there is Englefield. I did a walking video down Englefield not long ago with a quick visit across to the Navy Club, etc. On the left hand side here there's a big field, and the reason it's a big field is because it's a huge old tip there, and I was reading on Facebook it was once classed as the most polluted land in Europe, and there's photos online, in fact, I seen the other day, where you can see thousands, and I do mean thousands, of metal barrels that were all corroded and leaking some kinds of chemicals back in the days when it was all unregulated into the land there. So that's why they haven't built housing on there. Well, they've built some on the periphery, but not deep into the land. This is Mould Road. It's two-way for a while, but then it goes to one-way at the bottom. I know I probably regaled you with the tale before, but allegedly it was because a horse and carriage came shooting down the road here many years ago, and were unable to stop and blasted through one of the shop windows at the bottom down here. So that's why they made it a no entry. Right, I'm going to have a quick look down Dodds Drive. Another one that I don't go down to. Well, it's Pennant Street leading to Dodds Drive actually, but Pennant Street's about 2 centimetres long before it turns into Dodds Drive. I used to live down this road years ago, and roughly where that Land Rover thing is, there was a Mark III Ford Cortina, funnily enough. It was a bronze one. To be fair, it's not too bad tonight. There is room to get through. Back when I lived here, there were virtually no cars. There were probably 10 in the entire street. And I only left here in 1996. So it shows you just how much car use has expanded. I think it coincided a little with the lack of public transport, or public transport not being quite as reliable as it once was. Because public transport years ago when I was younger was far better than it is today. I know you've got all the apps and everything now, but it's just I don't know. I went on the bus the other day, for example, from the local town of Connahs to the local town of Shelton, which was maybe 2 stops away, and I could only get a day ticket that was about £7 or something, rather than just get a single ticket or a return ticket for 70p or whatever. Well, I can probably get to Liverpool on £7 in this. So, and when you're paying for 2 people, it's not really the best option. Well, that rain's spanking down now, so that's going to be destroying any hopes of having any picture. Let's have a quick look down the docks. Just a quick one, just to see what it's like down here, what's going on at the moment. Kev's tyres on the right hand side there, great if you need to get some cheap tyres. And straight ahead here you've got a decent view of the steelworks buildings, and the River Dee is just here over the wall. I don't think I'm going to get out and do a tour because I get absolutely soaked. But that's the dockside, and there is a car park just at the end here. I'll probably go in there and spin round, and if you go straight through that car park, on the other side of it, to the left here as well, is a walk that you can follow, and it's quite nice. It's like a riverside walk in the summertime. It's lovely, you know. Definitely worth a look. And someone's been painting murals on the wall here as well, see? That picture in front of us now with the train coming through is the railway line in Connahs, which is no longer with us, and that's a picture I've seen 1,000 times on the various sites on the internet of that train coming through, because he always used to come through on an angle in Connahs. I'm not going to go left and go down through all the industrial units because they're all shut and it's pitch black, and it's probably not the nicest area to be driving through in the evening, even if it is quite small. But yeah, this is the docks. So you can see we've gone from fields to rivers and to the sea very, very quickly. Everything's in this area is quite close, you know. You can be at the river at 12 o'clock. By 12:15 you could have walked through to town, say, and then by 12:30, 1:45, you can be in the field in the middle of nowhere, because it's quite a small country, and I don't know, it's just everything seems quite close, you know. The countryside's close, town's reasonably close, river and the sea's reasonably close, everything is quite close to this particular area anyway. And then you've got miles and miles and miles of countryside, woods and fields and things like that. It's not a bad little place, really. Yeah, this is the Quay Hill. Again, it's a place that I've recorded quite a few times. And that was Connahs, folks. I hope you enjoyed.